Hey, what's going on, guys? Maverick P here. It's a great morning. Great morning, good Friday. Things are looking bright today. In this video, I want to talk about my experience with earning my psychology degree. So I was in college from 2011 to 2017. Yeah, because I was working part-time and I was kind of taking the minimal classes pretty much. And and so it took me about five or 6 years to kind of complete that degree. And so if you're watching this video, maybe you're thinking about majoring in psychology. Maybe maybe you're in the process of studying psychology, and you're trying to think of what to take. Maybe some a little bit of guidance on on kind of what you're facing. So I remember what led me to psychology was I was just interested in it, and I went to community college and I just got my general eds out of the way for my associate's degree, and I kind of studied a little bit of everything there. And I was thinking about majoring in business when I went to my 4-year college, and that's actually what I did. I started the semester out taking calculus and business law and all these different business classes, and I ended up just hating all of them, and I just couldn't focus, in those classes. They were just very depressing to me at the time, because I wanted to study, something interesting, something that I found, very relevant to my life, and whatever. And business is relevant, and all those classes are very important. And I'm glad I took a little bit of them, and I kind of got introduced to them. But yeah, like that first semester, my grades got really bad, and I decided to switch to psychology. And so, what I found right away was the psychology classes were a lot easier, but I wouldn't necessarily say, they were easier because I was more interested in them. There were still very challenging courses, with a lot of presentations, a lot of research assignments, a lot of writing, a lot of reading. And I could say that that's kind of the benefit of a psychology degree is you're doing a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of group work, a lot of presentations, and that's pretty much, yeah, and there is a lot of lectures, and I love the lectures, and you're just engaging with the professor on certain topics, and and the thing with psychology is there's new courses all the time, so they're constantly like making new, cooler courses. My favorite upper level psychology courses were cross-cultural psychology and fundamentals of leadership. And and both of those are kind of in the realm of social psychology. So as you're kind of progressing, through your studies, you'll notice all the different branches of psychology. You have social psychology, you have evolutionary psychology, you have neuroscience, you have, or neuropsychology, you have biopsychology. There's so much, and really I'm pretty ignorant to, all of the, all of the different branches out there. Because I was more in the social psychology realm. That was more kind of what I focused on and kind of what I enjoyed. And again, I found it very practical in terms of, hey, I didn't know exactly what I was going to be doing after college. And it's been 3 years since I have my degree, and I've tried a whole bunch of different things. And that's one of the benefits of a psychology degree. It's very broad, kind of, and so you can use that degree to go a handful of different ways depending on kind of how savvy and just kind of what whatever works for you. If you're looking, I don't know. I mean, it's all on you. You can go to grad school after. I'm personally not a fan of grad school at the moment, just because it sounds like putting myself in. Yeah, because I mean, I'm late 20s. Grad school would be nice. You get that extra studying. That advanced level of studying. But at the same time, I mean, I feel like I've learned more after college than I did in college. Which I mean, at the same time, I learned a shit ton. I learned a shit ton in college, but the things that you learn in real life, and putting yourself out there, wrestling with the real world is way more severe than any than what any classroom can teach you. And that's just the reality. The classroom does the best to prepare you. And and what I did was I continued to take business. I did, take a few business classes. I took a few media classes. I did a few things like that as I was getting my psychology degree, because I wanted to be well versed. And that's the thing. You don't want to have your psychology degree and not be prepared to go into the business world. And so I took business writing. I took, I mean, there's a lot of psychology classes that are business centered. Industrial organizational psychology, all of that stuff. And typically you'll have to take some communication classes, and all that shit. So you are, and again, the group work element and the presentation element and the reading and writing, part of, your studies. That's the most important part of, going to college and earning a degree, whatever it is, and I'm talking about psychology right here, because, it is, I mean, it's a good degree to have, and it has a bad rap. A lot of people talk shit on, getting a psychology degree and, and whatever. My argument to that is, studying psychology taught me how to be a human being. It taught me how to, think for myself, understand what I'm thinking, and and I mean, you can never understand what other people are thinking, but you can kind of have an idea, and focusing on those thoughts, and focusing on, and then again, the skills of reading and writing and presenting, those just serve you in the long run like you couldn't believe it. I mean, you can study accounting, and and you'll have a for sure job most of the time. There's a huge demand for accounting, but at the same time, like I mean, who knows how accounting is? I mean, I know a lot of people that are pretty happy, but at the same time, I know a lot of people that switch from accounting and go to something more exciting, whether it's nursing or whatever. And I mean, it's good to have finance knowledge and everything like that. It is important, and and I would encourage if you're studying psychology, again, you want to be well versed. Take some finance classes, take some business classes. You want to be able to apply the psychology that you learn, and again, and so there is another class called like identity and discrimination. And I studied that abroad over in Italy, and so that was just kind of like that's a weird example of like how you can be studying really cool, almost government, almost political type of stuff, while you're if you're fortunate enough, as I was, to study abroad, I mean that was one of the greatest learning experiences of my life, just because of the environment that we went to, and the the material that we were studying along with that to kind of complement the experience, and so so look for things like that. I would heavily encourage social psychology type of classes, anything kind of in that realm is something I encourage greatly, because I think that's some of the most practical psychology that you'll learn, that you'll be using after college. And again, if you have a good plan of grad school, definitely get involved with the research studies. Be on good terms with all the professors. As you're going through. Because that stuff does matter. When you're sending in those applications for grad school and everything. And yeah, I mean, again, if you're if you're thinking about, studying psychology, I definitely encourage it, and try to make the most out of it. And, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, any fun things around the topic, just comment below. Of course, subscribe to the channel, Maverick P. I'm trying to do more and more experiences, that I've had, and trying to give some good insight, so, all right, excellent. See you guys.